Let's talk about Angie Bonpensiero, a fascinating character on The Sopranos.
Come on, give me that.
When we first meet Angie, it's not the real Angie that we get to know throughout the rest of the Sopranos story. It's a blonde woman. When we get introduced to the real Angie, it's in season 2. In Commendatori, it's while she's eating with Carmela and Rosalie, and the topic of conversation is Big Puss returning after being missing in action.
We're back to our old routine.
This isn't the first time, or the last time, he'll go missing. At first, when Carm and Ro ask Angie how she's doing, she goes with a generic, oh, we're back to our old routine, etc., etc. It's not difficult to see right through this, and I think that Angie knew this and accepted it, as her patients must have been wearing thin.
The biopsy came back negative.
Yeah, good. I'll be back later.
Fucking nosy? Eat your manicott.
I was upstairs. I heard the door and then his voice, I'm home. Fucking wanted to vomit.
Hello, I'm home.
Her real feelings, in her own words, are, I'm not happy Sal's back. I'm sad and depressed. I've thought of killing myself. With that said, I think because many of us get distracted, understandably, by Ro's comic relief, we don't really fully take in the gravity of what Angie says here. By continuously coming and going and coming and going, Puss left her in a chronic state of anxiety and instability. She never knew what was around the corner or when Puss was going to stumble back in or out the door. And at some point, that whole process became more stressful than Puss just being gone.
You fucking bitch! I'll kill you!
So I think that also helps to explain why Angie didn't put up more of a fuss or actively pursue an investigation of Puss's whereabouts after he disappeared for the last time in Funhouse.
I was away when all that shit went down with your brother. What the fuck happened?
We don't like to talk about it.
If anything, Angie was probably relieved that Toni took care of it. It's no secret who he went out on the boat ride with. I suppose we should have known someone was going to die after Angie dropped all those eggs on the floor.
He disappears. He never comes home. They know, but they don't know.
But prior to Puss's disappearance in Funhouse, Carmela tries to convince Angie not to leave Puss. Because if Angie leaves, then what's Carmela's excuse not to leave?
In the end, I know you're not going to leave him. I know you won't do that.
I think that's a big reason that later on in the show, when we see Angie being independent and running her own life, Carmela's extra envious.
Thought about a Boxster, but I don't know. The vet felt more like me.
At the end of the day, though, Carmela was right. Angie didn't leave him. He left her. Or I guess technically, he was taken from her. It wasn't his choice not to come back. But I imagine that if Carmela had been faced with the same situation, she also wouldn't have had any choice. She would have been without Toni. We see how Angie did it, but that was after she had no choice. Now, that's not to say that I don't think she would have ever left him herself, but Toni basically took care of it for her. She's out on the street hanging with the boys and standing all on her own.
Anything you want, sweetheart. Airbags, chrome rims.
Oh, hi. Carm, hi. This will just take another sec.
That's not to say that she didn't have any problems or flaws. She was always very busy and didn't even have time to sit down to lunch without getting called back to work in a fluster and interrupting whatever conversation was going on where she was.
I got sea bream. Beautiful. Porcini dusted ravioli. Huh?
I hate to be a pain, but I gotta get back. Jesus Christ, he's always interrupting.
They complain about Artie always interrupting, but it's pretty much what Angie's doing at that very moment. I feel like Gabby really meant it for Angie. Toni seems to take joy in the fact that he has this power over Angie, and not only that, but that he gets to show it to her, or, in his words, rub her nose in it.
Well, you look like you're doing pretty good since we had that phone call where, you asked me, could you take over Puss's body shop?
The last episode in which we see Angie, Mo and Joe, Angie's up by the front door, yapping with someone on the phone.
Not his decision to make. I'm running that shop, not him. But where am I going to come up with $1,200?
When Angie asks Carmela if Toni has any more money he could give her, that doesn't go over very well with Toni. But it appears that Angie listens to Toni, or at least listens enough to not approach Carmela in the supermarket and talk about anything other than oven cleaner moving forward. Which may be why Toni decides to let Ange run the body shop, which we see her working at starting in season 5. We get to see her on the job, in fact, when something goes askew.
Hi, Phil.
Angie's very upset about Phil hosing her down for a $2,000 factory seat, and then later on in season 6, we see that she donates $2,000 worth of bodywork from the body shop to the silent auction.
Jesus God, Duke, they're hosing us for a $2,000 factory seat.
Anyhow, put me down for $2,000 worth of body work and or paint.
Comes full circle. And for what it's worth, Angie stood up to Phil Leotardo. She wasn't afraid to get in his face.
You just have a problem with the grain on the leather from the factory. You think I'm stupid?
Oh!
Don't take it out on me.
It's nice to see you two patch things up.
So silly.
I'm not even sure what happened.
I'm not too sure what happened either. I mean, we know that Puss went to sleep with the fishes, and then apparently she becomes persona non grata.
So how come Angie Bonpensiero don't come?
Please, she's not welcome here.
But in season 6, they all reunite.
I thought our goal was to raise money. I say we get them lick it up, let them tear each other's throats out.
In terms of Angie's overall ending, it's not necessarily packaged up into some clear final chapter. What do I think Angie's up to today? Today being 2024, the present day, with the show ending in 2007. Someone actually asked this question just the other day. What I said at the time was, still running the body shop, but without Toni's interference. Maybe she still runs it, but isn't necessarily there at the shop every day. So I wouldn't be surprised if that body shop were still up and running in 2024. Hypothetically, of course. What does happiness look like for Angie Bonpensiero? She said she was going to use those years. God gave her a gift, and she was going to use those years and make them count. What does making it count mean for Angie? We might not know exactly what that looks like, and I imagine it looks different for everyone. But I think it's fair to say that we know what it doesn't look like. And what it doesn't look like is the Angie Bonpensiero that we saw at the beginning of the show.
What did she do? She set up her own little thing.
She took all that negative shit he gave her and spun it into gold.
Finally, what are your thoughts on Angie Bonpensiero? Thanks for watching, and as always, I'd love to hear from you.